Hi, Sudis. How are you doing? Welcome to Nine. Sim, thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. Now, when I look at white broke people, when I say white broke people voting for the or that voted for Donald Trump, I look at myself and I say, you are actually too broke. Like you are not rich to be a Republican. And you also do not have to belong to a party to know what is right from what is wrong. You don't have to have a party. You can be independent, but as long as you are voting the right person that you feel like this is supposed to be the right person, we all tell black people that it's always all about race. Like black people make everything about race, but in the end, it's not about race because you all wanted your own to be on that throne without even thinking what is going to happen if this man becomes this president. And you all knew that Project 2025 was a thing. And Project 2025 was what black people started screaming from late 2022 to 2023, all through 2023. Black people were talking about it because what was inside Project 2023 was very scary. That got everybody really crying. I remember there was a young lady that broke down after seeing Project 2025. She was like, are people going to sit down and watch this happen? This was her, what she said. I probably will look for that video. If I'm able to find it, I will attach it so you all will see. So Project 2025 was a thing. And black people try as much as they could to let you all not align yourselves with those. But you all said no. No matter how far it goes, we are sticking with our race. Now you all are calling for help. Let's get into.
So who's the real victim of Project 2025? Because when you think about this, they lure these poor people in because they're uneducated and doing away with the Department of Education when white people need it the most. But it don't matter because information and education, that's a kryptonite in them. They don't want to learn. They don't want to do better, right? Get rid of the Department of Education. Start rolling back on Social Security and social programs, welfare, food stamps. They're overwhelmingly on it, dependent upon it, running these farms in these rural countries, using Mexicans for cheap labor, not only on the construction, but to pick their produce. Losing that, going to lose the farm. Heavily invested in crypto, heavily invested in the stock market, think, oh, Donald Trump, he's a businessman. Stock market's plummeting, losing money, losing millions. And black people is out here on trail rides clapping fans. Nigga. Because how do we can no longer concern ourselves, bruh. Y'all are the victims of this thing. And because it's being telegraphed that we're the ones that's going to be the victims, when we talking about rolling back DEI, well, that just means niggas. Even though we're the fifth and who benefits from it, and white women benefit from it the most. When you say woke, they put their life on easy mode to keep them mediocre. We're going to make everything easy for you. We're going to make sure when you get the job, you get the most money. We're going to make sure when you go to get the house, no issues. We're going to make sure when you go to the bank, no issues. We're going to make sure when you get pulled over by the police, no issues. You live your life on easy so I can keep you mediocre. This idea of supremacy is a fallacy that's orchestrated for control. And they got your mind fucked up. And you think you're superior because you white. So when they really put the play down, you too weak to fight back. You don't have any organization. That's why your protest looks like a parade. It hasn't even been 90 days. You already regretting the decision that niggas told you. We told you. So niggas say, you know what? Fuck it. Done talking. That's y'all problem now. We're going to go over here and do our thing. We're going to make sure that we enroll in self-defense classes. We're going on group hikes. We're going on trail rides. We're going to continue to have fun. We're going to continue because guess what? Par for course. Par for course. You want to roll back on the DEI initiative target? We taking the money out of there. Young black men at Michigan, University of Michigan, they want to roll back on the DEI initiatives, hit that transfer portal. Because those sports teams ain't doing shit without niggas. Trust me. You want to see 5 white men on the basketball court? You want to see 22 white men on the football field? Have at it. Niggas gonna be and everything.
Do not care how many people are hurt.
They don't care because they've never cared. The Republican Party has never really given a shit about anybody. They don't care. They don't give a shit. They never have. Since 1980, in the arrival of Ronald Reagan, the Republicans have been hell-bent on making themselves rich, making their donors rich, and screwing everyone else. This was never a secret. I've known it. I've known it since I was a kid. The policies that they want to put in place have always been about two ideas. They're not good ideas, but they're the only ideas the Republican Party has had since 1980. Tax cuts for rich people and corporations and businesses, and deregulating anything that would stop the profit margin. We've known this for decades. We kept trying to tell people Ice Cube has a song called A Bird in the Hand off of his album Death Certificate. It is possibly, not possibly, it is probably one of my favorite Ice Cube songs. It's not that long. It's quite short. But it literally gives you the mentality and mindset of people in marginalized communities. Constantly. Black folks are too broke to be Republicans. We are. And when this level of cruelty was done to people who do not look like you, no one batted an eye. Cruelty is the point. Every ism you can think of is mixed up in it. Pain points. But the pain wasn't being felt, or it was being felt, but the most visible representation of that hurt was in marginalized communities. We were the canaries in the coal mine. We were the guinea pigs. And not only did we find out that people outside of our communities didn't care, they were okay with it. They were okay with it. People believed the idea that women were having a bunch of kids to get more welfare, because the face of that was a black face. People believed that crime was being ran rampant all throughout the inner city because the faces of it were black and brown. People believed that there were groomers and pedophiles all over the place because they put a gay face or a trans face to it. And while all of this is going on, while every wedge issue that the Republican Party threw out, because they have no good ideas, and the only two ideas they've ever had is tax cuts and deregulation, which doesn't play well in the quote-unquote heartland, doesn't play well in those real America places where the flag is waving and there's wheat and there's a little toe-head white boy, little white kid running around. They knew it doesn't play well. But they did know that if they scare you about the inner city, if they scare you about Mexicans, if they scare you enough about these crazy drag queens and gays and trans, that you would fall for it. And then they could deregulate. Which means if you got hurt at work, you had no recourse. They crushed the unions. Crushed them. And they did all of this in front of you. There's an old saying, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And that's what happened. MAGA is the clearest, newest, and most deadly strain of this mindset. People have died under that MAGA mentality. We have a bunch of loudmouth people who are not experts on anything that have become the leading voices of MAGA. And people take them and their word as gospel. And if you will take these snake oil salesmen as gospel, you will vote against everything you know you need. They did it in front of you. They were hiding in plain sight. MAGA's a disease. The man who currently sits in the White House has no reason to be there. But this is the second time he's done it. Why? Because MAGA people voted on wedge issues while screaming economics. And they put their faith and their trust and their belief in a party that has never given a shit about them. It's the Lee Atwater speech. They made it so abstract that you're now voting against things that help you. And it's killing you. There is no reaching these people anymore. None. They have wholly bought into the lies. Drank the Kool-Aid, as it were. They now believe this bullshit is true. And it will take decades for us to clean it up, if we ever do. Our media is not telling us any of this because they want to stay next to the powerful who have horrible ideas, but it gives them access. So they're looking at their bottom line too. They have sold out. News media, print media have now become MAGA acolytes. And for what? For what? Tax cuts and deregulation. Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, and the Republican Party is about to unleash a $4.5 trillion tax cut. The only people that will benefit the most are the same people who signed up to tell you and people from the heartland that it was the gays, the blacks, and the Mexicans were the reason that you weren't getting ahead. And those tax cuts are going to destroy this country. The tariffs are going to bring a recession like you would not believe. Coupled with that tax cut, we are looking at Herbert Hoover's style Great Depression. We tried to tell y'all. We tried to tell everyone. But no one wanted to listen. MAGA is going to destroy this country. And there are going to be some people that are going to cheer for it. Because cruelty is the point.
Okay, I want to take a moment to say thank you to Donald Trump, not out of praise, but out of truth. Because while you rip through every part of this government, tearing down justice, equality, and fairness under the fake excuse of fighting DEI fraud, what you're really doing is confirming what black folks have been saying for generations. America was built on racism, fueled by fear and sustained by white supremacy. You've exposed it all. The masks are off.
the polite racism, the fake allyship, the colorblind lies, it's all gone. Now we see it raw and unfiltered. You're not just targeting policy, you're targeting people. Black people, brown people, marginalized communities. In the wild part, we make up the smallest portion of this country, yet somehow we are the biggest threat to the lie that white supremacy built. That should tell you everything. You're afraid not of violence, not of replacement, but of the power we hold even when we have nothing. You see the way our culture, our brilliance, our resilience, our excellence continues to shape this country, even when it tries to erase us. Donald Trump is just the loudest version of a system that's always been in place. He is the living, breathing proof that this country was never designed with us in mind. And yet, we continue to define it. So thank you, Donald, for exposing what so many tried to deny, for showing the world that the fear of Black greatness is real, for proving that racism isn't in our imagination, it's in the fabric of this nation. And to my people, we don't have to fight to prove our worth. He's doing that for us. All we have to do is stand firm, stay awake, and know that the truth is finally louder than the lie. We are not broken. We are not the problem. We are the evidence of the power that this country can contain. Let that truth
This
ring
is all
louder
I
than
got
its
from
hate.
this video, and everything is unveiling. There is nothing Black people did not say that is not happening. Literally everything is happening. And that is what you all bargained for. Project 2025 was something that Black people started screaming ahead of time. It wasn't just, Black people didn't start talking about that just last year. For those that know, for those that know me, you've been on this channel for so long, you definitely will know that it started in 2023. I think they started screaming it so much in 2023, and 2024 was just like a reminder that you have to remember that we've been talking about this. So Project 2025 wasn't just last year that Black people talked about it. It's been there since 2023. You all did not hear, because Black people can never tell you something. You listen. But the only time you listen is when they are going to help you. So tell me how the person you never listened to, when they were screaming really very hard, calling everybody to come, let's do something good. Let's try as much as we can to make sure that we do not have this present administration, because it is really going to be bad. If they do not like you, they wouldn't have come out to scream. Black people know what it means to be oppressed, because they've personally been oppressed for so long. So they also do not want that type of system that will limit people, that will make life really very hard for everybody. You all said, no, I would rather vote for someone that look like me, right? Because here it's going to be us. And in the end, we are not going to feel it, right? Because it's the right person. Or even if we feel it, as long as it's the right person. I mean, let's preserve our race, because it has always been preserving race. And then when we talk about what is going on, you all say that Black people make everything about race. Yes, America was built on racism and race. It is sad as it is, that you all stepped out to protest, to see what you all can do to make the government better. And you all went to put up a show. Like, it was just like a carnival, like, it just a walkout carnival. You all did not even express or show that something is wrong, something is not going right. So who is actually going to fix all these problems? I hope you all are not still waiting for Black people, because it's a no-no. You all thought it was going to be good. Tax court is being caught for billionaires. Are you a billionaire? Of course not. Like Bishop Thomas said, Black people are too broke to be Republicans. And he did not lie. The same thing as broke white people. You all are too broke to be Republicans. But you all know, as long as they're, one thing with them I have noticed is that once you attach something to Black people, it's a no-no for them. They don't care to know what that thing is all about. It's a no-no. And in the end, they run back, start looking for help from the same black people. They said, no, you are, we don't need you. Or we don't want to be in our, we don't want to align with you at this point in time. You all are still looking for help. Bye for now.